in the sheds as we look back on Friday night's fixtures in the Betfred Super League, starting at Craven Park, where the Robins beat the Red Devils 32 points to 12. Another brilliant win, this one, for the Up the Robins Brigade down there at Craven Park. You've got to give them a lot of credit. 2 points clear now over the Wigan Warriors. Wigan, of course, that game in hand in Perpignan tonight. If they were to win that, it's teed up beautifully, isn't it, for next week's round 25 clash of the Big Two. I think now Warrington clearly out. We'll get to them a little bit later on in the sheds, but this is a brilliant win yet again from Willie Peters' side. They really are a quality outfit this season. It was another wonderful display, especially from that man Mikey Lewis's try. Oh yes, beautiful, like a hot knife through butter. Outstanding stuff from the man who is being linked to the NRL. That, of course, is going to be playing on the minds of a lot of those Robin supporters over the course of the coming months, weeks, and probably years, actually. Will Mikey go to the NRL at some point? Well, there's no doubt if he carries on playing like this, he is absolutely in the shop window for an NRL berth. For the Salford Red Devils, it's not been a good hunting ground, has it? Craven Park this year, that's their second defeat. They're, of course, losing out in the Challenge Cup as well. But like I said, this was just all about the Robins. I mean, they really do play some wonderful rugby league, don't they? Peter Hickey, again, just he's running, he's assisting, he's playing out of his skin at centre. I mean, like we said many times before, he's a shoo-in, isn't he, for Dream Team this year, Peter Hickey. He has been quite simply sensational. Love a try for Jai Whitbread as well. I mean, people will have their thoughts on that. For me, it was stolen. I've got no issue with it personally. There'll be others who thinks he lost it. I think for me, no doubt about it, it was a try, a brilliant acquisition. Jai Whitbread, he's had a fantastic season. No Burgess, 4 try, Joe Burgess goes out the team. What do we get? We get, of course, Jack Broadbent. In he comes for a brace. Not a problem whatsoever. And that's the thing about Hull KR this year. They're well balanced. When players go out, other players come in, next man up, and they're just playing some wonderful rugby league football. Nobody, I think, would have any problem whatsoever if they hang on now to win the League Leaders' Shield. Next week is a mouth-watering prospect, isn't it? I mean, let's all be honest. It'll be like going to the Savoy. Oh, yes, no doubt about it. Get your soufflés out in the shape of rugby league next week. It's going to be an outstanding game of rugby league. I, for one, will be tuning in with great interest. Will we get an indication on who is going to win the grand final this year? In that one, it's going to be mouth-watering without a question. Medium rare all day long is what I would say on that one. Congratulations to Willie P. I mean, like I say, you go through the stats in this game. 42 completed sets to 24 in the to KR. You're not beating KR if they've almost got double the amount of completed sets. You've got to be so disciplined against this side if you're going to come out with a win. 4 meters, 1700 to 1300. A bit of change in there, but that's pretty much where it was. 41 tackles, 32 though from Salford. It wasn't a bad effort in that respect, but for me personally, it was just a real quality masterclass. This yet again. I mean, a tight first half until Mikey did what he did. Mikey's try, it just lit it up, didn't he? Good to see Opachik going in as well, lit him with his. Yes, on the other side, I thought Joe Miller's try very easy on the eye. They do play that right edge very well indeed, don't they? The Salford Red Devils, down they go, down the field of play. Thought Miller took that one very well. And of course, like Death and Taxes, in goes Nene McDonald, and that was his 11th try of the campaign for Nene. A fine performance indeed. I've got no arguments with the Robins being top of Super League. I think they've been brilliant all season. I know you have too. Many congratulations to the Up the Robins Brigade down there at Craven Park. Right, let's get into the 3-2-1. Who am I giving the 3 points to? I'm going to give it to Peter Hickey. I think he's been outstanding all season. 19 carries, 152 metres from Peter, 2 tackle busts in the game. Real solid indeed. 15, and of course those wonderful 2 assists. No arguments for me. Whether he plays on the, he started on the right, then he goes to the left. Just outstanding, Peter Hickey. Congratulations. 2 points go to Mikey Lewis. Has to be Mikey. Another brilliant try from Mikey Lewis. He really is a handful. 10 tackle busts on the night, 1 clean break. 4 goals. He missed another 3. I mean, obviously that's going to be put right next year when Reece Martin comes into the Robins, of course, announced this week. But yes, again, Mikey Lewis and 16 tackles as well in the game. But Lewis, for me, he's playing a different standard. When he's on, he doesn't know what he's going to do, let alone the fans, let alone the opposition. Mikey in great form. He gets my 2 points. I'm going to leave the 1.2. Jai Whitbread, like a forward. I think Jai fully deserved it. 20 tackles in this. He took his try well. He's been an outstanding acquisition for the Robins this season. Again, people will talk about it. Will he be in the conversation for Dream Team? He probably will. Do I think he'll be in the Dream Team? I don't know, but he'll certainly be in the conversation because he's done nothing wrong at all, has he, all season? He's been absolutely superb. I thought Tim Lafai looked decent yet again for the Salford Red Devils. Couple of notes for the Salford Red Devils. Boy, 111 metres from 16 carries, 8 tackle bush, doing what he normally does, 3 offloads in the game. That's just a typical Tim Lafai performance. But even Tim coming back could not put the halt on the Hull KR juggernaut at this time time, 8 wins in a row. I mean, talk about a statement of intent. Absolutely unplayable at the moment. Willie Peters, sir, I salute you. You've done a phenomenal job down there at the Robins. Yeah, massive game now this week. I, for one, really looking forward to that. Hull KR 32, the Salford Red Devils 12. The Leigh Leopards 16, Warrington Wolves 12 in a game of controversy at the LSV. A big shout out to Jake, Jim and Louise, and of course all the other Be The Road Brigade down there whose hospitality was outstanding, coming up saying hello. Absolute privilege to be in the company of quality rugby league supporters at the Be The Raw LSV. But let's get to the game. 16 points to 12, and of course we have to go there straight away. I thought the telly try taken really well. They were so camped in that Warrington half, pretty much throughout the first half. It's got to be said, the Leigh Leopards. Latelli going in early doors, good try, well done to Vicky Latelli. And then, of course, the moment of the game, I posted on our Facebook page Sam Burgess's, post-game interview with Sky. He was filthy, said the game is an embarrassment at this moment in time. And I always call it straight. You know that. That's why a lot of fans watch in the sheds, that watch us on a Tuesday night, because I do keep it real. I do keep it down the line. So I'm going to be unbiased in my analysis of what went on with Paul Vaughan. You Leigh Leopards fans out there, I don't care, get your blinkers off. If this happened to your team, you'd be saying exactly the same thing. 5 years ago, Trout gets up and carries on. There was no way he was failing that HIA. There's talk that players were telling him to stay down. This, for me, is going to take people away from our sport. I'm all for protecting players. These gladiators of ours, they deserve protecting. But Paul Vaughan's not going to do him there. For me, there's an accident. Accidents happen on a rugby league field. There is no intent in that whatsoever for me. For that to be a red card, I talked about Tommy Makinson the week before, thought that was very, very harsh. I think this is incredibly harsh as well. Livid, absolutely livid. Sam Burgess, if this happened to the Leigh player, Leigh fans would be saying exactly the same thing. And that's where we've got to keep it real. Keep it real, folks. Take your colours off. We can't have this creeping into our game. We don't want our game to become football. It's happening too many times and it has to stop. And that's as simple as that. For me as well, I've got to address the Warrington Wolves spectators as well. This happens. Yes, it's the wrong call. He shouldn't have been sent off. That's my honest opinion. But then Warrington fans, who are complaining, week in, week out about the way our sport is going. And then on every single tackle, they're shouting for people to be sent off. They're shouting for their own players to be to lie down. Come on. That's not the solution. It's not the solution. We've all got to come together. We've got to make sure, the players themselves need to police it. It's not acceptable. Seeing far too much of arms in the air, trying to get players sin-binned and sent off. We're not football. We're rugby league. That's what this is all about. Sam Burgess said, this is not rugby league at the moment. It's not. I'm all for protecting players. I really am, but not like this. Accidents will happen on a rugby league field. We've got to consider the word intent. If it's intent, then yeah, absolutely, yellow, red, do whatever you want. There's no intent from Paul Vaughan in that tackle. I'm sorry, there's not. If that happened to the Leigh players, let me tell you now, you Leopards fans would be living. But the bottom line is this: Leigh have won yet again. They've took 2 points from the Warrington Wolves like they did last year at the LSV. Warrington, as we know, they're in the playoffs. Not a problem whatsoever. This is a massive win for the Leigh Leopards, now in the top 6. Got Cats next week. I think now Leigh Leopards are in prime position to sneak in and to get a playoff place. And nobody will want to play the Leigh Leopards in that playoff. They're a quality outfit. They've got players of quality right across the field of play, you've got to give credit. You've got to give credit to them. They got the job done, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. All that matters, and all the record books will show, is that the Leigh Leopards got 2 points and went into those top 6 positions. Again, Sam Burgess saying that, post the sending off, his side won the game in terms of from that moment on. I think that's a good point that's well made from Burgess. It was 4-0 at that point when Paul Vaughan goes off. So, do the maths, ladies and gentlemen. Bottom line is, they did well. They did really well, Warrington Wolves. They got back in. I think he said it was 12-10. Did they kick the goal? I think they must have done. Yes, they did. So, yeah, they were 6-0 up, sorry. And then, of course, Warrington won at that point by 12 points to 10. So, again, we're learning a lot about Warrington Wolves. They're remaining in the grind this year. Warrington fans needn't worry. Playoff rugby league is what it's all about. They're in the playoffs, and they would have took third at the start of the season. I don't see them now getting into the top 1 and top 2 positions. I think that now is a straight shootout between Wigan and Hull KR. And of course, that will mean there is no chance. There's a lot of talk about Warrington Hull KR final. That can't happen if Warrington finish third. It just simply cannot happen. So, bottom line is, it's going to be very, very interesting indeed once we get to the playoff positions in terms of who it's going to be in 6th place for Warrington Wolves. Who are they going to play? And I'll tell you now, no Warrington Warrington Wolves fan wants to play the Leigh Leopards in that opening playoff game. I think that's how much respect that they've got for the Leigh outfit. I think they're going to be very, very good indeed come the playoffs. Charlie, of course, taking his try in this game. Josh, another try for him. Frankie Holton again going in there. He's on a bit of a roll when it comes to try scoring efforts. It was for me personally, it was spoiled a little bit by the Red. I'd love to have seen 13 on 13 for the game. I think the atmosphere at the start was brilliant, but it turned toxic because all the Warrington fans were calling for were yellow cards and red cards, and it detracted from the game. 13-13. I think the banter between the fans have been superb in the stands, and I think we'd have had a real quality game of rugby league. It was a gritty game of rugby league. It just didn't really live up to the hype for me in that respect. Leigh got the job done. Warrington will be disappointed, and it's going to be very interesting to see what the Rugby Football League considers of Sam Burgess's points that he raised at the end of the game. Do you agree with Sam Burgess? Do you not agree with Sam Burgess? I don't know. I just want the game to be played fairly. Nothing. No doubt about it. That's all I want. I'm trying to call this straight. Did I think that was a red card? Absolutely not. 5 years ago, he gets up, he plays on. Henry Pape, look at him. Doesn't think there's anything wrong. He's at the play the ball. He's ready to play it. Somebody told him to stay down. Simple as that. And he did. And that's not acceptable in rugby league football. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not our sport. And if that carries on, I'm sorry to say, we need bums on seats, and bums are going to be getting off them seats and walking down the road if that carries on. Not good enough at all. Right, let's get into the 3-2-1. Who am I giving the 3 points to? I'm going to give it to Tom Amon, starting loose forward in this one. I thought Tom Amon was outstanding. Yet again, on both sides of the ball, 26 tackles in day, 11 from marker tackles. One marker tackle, my apologies. 133 metres from 19 carries from Tom Amon. Just a one tackle bust in the game. But like I say, both sides of the ball played really, really well. 2 points I'm going to give to Frankie Holton. I don't quite understand why Kai O'Donnell got it from Sky. When you compare and contrast those two second rowers in this game, Holton was far better. Yes, he got the try, 29 tackles, 6 marker tackles in the game as well. He got a tackle bust in it. He was really, really good, was Frankie. 14 carries, 108 metres he ran in this one. You compare that, 8 metres more than O'Donnell. I just thought Frankie Holton, his all-round game, slightly better than O'Donnell. He's getting my 2 points. I'm giving 1 point to George Williams and the Warrington Wolves in defeat. I mean, he was trying his best to break the line. At one point, he did break the line in the game and did really well indeed. He's running more this year, 20 carries, 115 metres from George, 6 tackle busts. Of course, he made one of the tries as well. I thought George Williams, of all the halfbacks, had a really assured game. Yes, Lamb got 2 assists. I get that, Leigh Leopards fans, but I thought Williams overall, everything about him, his kicking game, his support play, his link-up play, his breaks, you name it, I thought he just had a real solid game for the Warrington Wolves, albeit Lamb for me was very, very close as well. What's your thoughts on that? Do you agree with the 3-2-1 in this game? Do you agree with the 3-2-1 in the Hull KR game? What do you think? What do you think of those Sam Burgess comments? It's going to be very interesting. That's going to rumble on over the next 24 to 48 hours. Yet again, finally, big thank you to all those Leigh Leopards fans who come over and said hello and said we're doing a great job here at Super League Raw. I think we're going to get a few more members this week from a few of the Beat the Raw Brigade, and we'll look forward to welcoming you into the family. That's been In the Shed for the Friday night fixtures. Wow, Hull KR, can anybody stop them? Leigh, are they going to remain in those playoff places? And Warrington fans, are you just happy that this year you're in the playoffs after 2 really dark seasons? We'll see you tomorrow for more In the Sheds for the Saturday fixtures.